Hello again, YouTubers. It's been some time ago, but I've been quite busy with work lately. Although I've been buying some records, but we have a bit of a problem now because my shelves are starting to become full, so I have to maybe make room for some stuff, and that's never easy. Or just take a bit more easy with the record shopping. And I went to a fair in Åsö in Södermalm, Stockholm, a week ago, and I found some interesting records there, and I also found some interesting records in other places. So, well, I'm going to show you. At the record fair, I found this, and this is the Coasters, and it's on Atco 33-101, and it's on the yellow label. Let's see. Oops. With the harp. And it's the first pressing of the first, I think it's the first issue on Atco. So, very rare album indeed. Not in the best of shape, but I've listened to it and plays well. It has some crackle in the background, but the sound isn't in any way distorted, so it's a great finding, and it wasn't that incredibly expensive. This is a 10-inch LP that I didn't buy this on the fair. I think I got this on an auction. It's The Sound of the Gulf Coast on Ace Records. We got Johnny and the Jammers, Burl Boykin, Roy Boogie Boy Perkins, and others. And these are recordings from the 1950s. But I think this issue is from around 1980. Then over to a easy listening album that I've been wanting to have for many years, and that's not very common because I don't really collect what we would call easy listening. But I heard the title tune of this album on YouTube, and I thought, wow, that's really good. So I've been looking for it, and I think the original might have been issued on it's a British record, issued on Pi, but this is an American version of it on Parkway. It's Sounds Orchestral with Cast Your Fate to the Wind, and I'm very fond of that song. Well, it's more known with Vince Guaraldi, but I think this interpretation of it by John Schroeder, Johnny Pearson on piano, and Kenny Clare on drums, and some different bass players. It's very, very, very good, and like very jazzy. And this is all in all a very jazzy album because, well, although it is easy listening, but it's good easy listening, and I was very happy when I found this. Right, over to an issue now that I may need some help here, because I think this is a really, really odd issue. What's this? Well, it looks like a maxi single, like a 12-inch single, and it's a Canadian company called Uniwave. I've never heard of them before or seen any of their records. They seem to be based in Quebec somewhere. But what's on it? Well, we have John Fred and his Playboy band, Judy in Disguise with Glasses. Very famous 60s song. And on the flip side, it's When the Lights Go Out, also by John Fred and his Playboy band. Big hit in the late 60s. This is, though, an issue from 1980. So now comes the interesting question. Why make a 12-inch single of that song 12 or 13 years after it was a big hit? And now here comes the next question. I can understand if you make maxi singles, so as we would call them, I mean 12-inch 45s, but this is not a 45. It's a 33. So it means that I've never seen a piece of vinyl that has been used for recording in such. Well, I'm going to show you. look at this. Look at this. This bit is the song. And then the rest is just a silent journey in towards the label. It's 12-inch, it's 33 RPM, and it's one song on each side, and each song is around 2 minutes. Why this issue? I don't understand it. If anybody, this is Canadian issue on. If anybody of you know about this record label, or what's the point? I mean, it's a good song. It's very good. It sounds good. It's a good pressing, but I still can't really see the reason why you would issue this in 1980 in this way. I could understand the reissue on a 7-inch 45, or even a 12-inch 45, not a 12-inch 33. It was very weird. Yeah, speaking about weird, I bought this great Boogie Wonderland that has been it's again a song that's starting to play, mainly because it was included in the soundtrack of a very great French movie. I can't remember the name now, but it will come to me later. Earth, Wind and Fire with the Emotions, Boogie Wonderland, 12-inch single on CBS. And I thought, well, yeah, 12-inch 45 RPM single, great, because I even though the music of the 12-inch 45s often aren't, I mean, they were produced during a time when I didn't really like the current pop music, late 70s, early 80s, but this is also a 12-inch record, 33 RPM record, so with only one track on each side. So, well, this contains a 9-minute version of Boogie Wonderland. I can understand it a bit more, but I think it's weird with singles that run on 33 RPM. Right, let's carry on. Let's speed it up. Of the King of the Zydeco, Clifton Chenier, I found this Clifton Chenier on tour on the Paris album label, and I think it's a French issue, live recording in Paris from 1978. We have the Swedish pop group that Änglabarn that existed in the early 80s. They not that very long, but they had some great records, and they had a very great singer and songwriter in Danne Stråhed. Yeah, and this is on EMI, and it's from 1982. Then we have, oh, I thought I was going to not show you that one right now. Yeah, alright, we'll wait with that one. Okay, another record from the Record Fair, Jerry Lee Lewis, Volume 2, Jerry Lee's Greatest, on London, so it's a British issue of, well, probably a Sun original, and I think this British issue was issued in 1961 something. Great to find. Oh, and this cool blues man, Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers, Beware of the Dog. I think it was originally issued on Alligator, but here in Sweden it was issued on Sonnet, and this was recorded not that long before he died, well, maybe a year before he died, and issued after his death. Suit Money, Welcome to My Head from 1968 on Capitol. I have one other album with the Suit Money, the totally insane record. It's just called Suit, I think. It's from 1965 on Columbia. Really great stuff. I haven't listened to this yet, but I think I like his music a lot. Okay, over to some girls. The Shangri-Las, The Golden Hits of the Shangri-Las on Mercury, and this was issued after they left. I think, was it Red Bird that they made the recordings? I think so. And this is some sort of compilation on Mercury of the, I think it's Red Bird material. They didn't really have any great success on Red Bird, and I think the group more or less dissolved maybe a couple of years later. Yeah, the great British prog symphonic group Curved Air. Some months ago I showed a video showing their first album, the Air Conditioning, the picture disc album. I've been looking for some of their other albums, and I found one at the record fair. It's Airborne from 1976 on BTM Records. Sonia Christina, great singer, and Daryl Way, great violinist and guitarist. Francis Monkman had left Curved Air when this was issued, but still a great album. Over to a record that maybe those of you who don't come from Sweden, you're not that familiar with, and maybe if you're from Sweden, this is not a very common album. We had a Swedish girl group in the late 60s, mid 60s, called Mark Lesur, that consisted of two sisters and I think their friend or maybe cousin something, and they made some great pop singles in Swedish, English and German, and they also issued an LP, and this is the LP, Mark Lesur on Kupol from 1966, I think. One of the members married one of the of this group married one of the members of the Swedish pop group Tages. I think it was it Fred Diskanse who was married? I think so. Yeah. So this was a group that had some credit among the pop people of Sweden. Right. Over to this Canadian issue of Pink Floyd's Atom Heart Mother, with the title and the name of the record up here. You don't see that too often on Harvest. Great album. Then we have two albums with a string band, blues band, folk band, Martin Bogan and Armstrong. These two, the Barnyard Dance, and well, this is just called Martin Bogan and Armstrong, on Flying Fish and on Rounder, I think. Yeah. In the late 80s, early 90s in Sweden, we had a music show called Tropico Pop, led by a man called Thomas Gylling, and that showed some pop music that came from different parts of the world, not just USA, England, Europe, but well, from Africa, from the Caribbean, South America, and it was a very good show. I learned a lot, and I heard lots of great music there. I first heard of soca, that music style, in that show, and also I first heard Johnny Clegg and Savuka in that show, because they showed his video Cruel, Crazy, Beautiful World a lot of times. And I found a compilation album from the TV show called it was called Tropico Pop, and we have groups like Azucar Moreno, Matt Bianco, Zouk All Stars, Maika Munan, Moricante, BB Queen, Leston Paul, and others. It's from 1992. Okay. Over to an album that I thought for many years that I already had on vinyl, but I used to have this on CD, but it's one of the really great albums, even though I'm not too keen on the synthesizer production, but the songs and the lyrics, so great. Leonard Cohen, I'm Your Man, on CBS from 1988. Okay, two last ones, sorry, I'm tired. My English is fading, I can't even think. A very nice Decca stereo. Ernest Ansermet conducting L'Orchestre de la Suisse Romande, Prokofiev Symphony No. 5 in B flat, Opus 100. Very nice issue with a black Decca label with a silver band. One interesting thing that I found here is a short note made by a previous owner. It says, "Ingen musik man blir glad av." And that means no music. This is not music that makes you happy. Yeah, maybe not music that makes you happy, but still very good music. And finally, record with Ravi Shankar on playing the sitar. I have too little Indian music in my collection. I realized that some time ago, and when I found this homage to Mahatma Gandhi and Baba Alauddin, I thought, well, why not? And it's great music, even though it's not the kind of music I listen to every day. Anyway, I just realized, or well, I've known it for some time, that this year, 2013, it's exactly 30 years since I bought my first record. So I thought I made some sort of video, or maybe video series about that. But I still have to think a bit about it, how to do it and what to include. But I'm sure something will come up sooner or later. Alright, thanks for watching, those of you who managed to sit through all this. And well, have a great day and night and everything.